for Skadoodle here. He has the angle with the AWP, the Molotov, forcing anyone away from swinging wide. Grabs the second kill, great, and a third one! Skadoodle, what a recovery and a hold! All 4 kills for Skadoodle.
Slow down, and here he is again. He's to hit the second. You better believe he will. Now a third. Twist is going to take the fight, and he hits it as well. Kenny is just raining down terror. 2 more to find, and they're cowering in drop room, fearing what he could do with his Zoom banger. Finds a little bit of a respite for a moment. This could be a full ace. Kenny is going absolutely nuts.
Plants getting guns away. You're gonna make the investment into this isn't around. Win Nico though.
Smoke will plume in front of them now, and Christian is able to peek through the windows, but there's Nico again. Gets himself the second kill. There could be something here for Mousefuls, and the third through the wall. Nicely done for the man now. The bomb's ticking away. There's no choice. Shefan has to stand and deliver, and Nico shuts him down.
He may have gotten away with it, but unfortunately for him, not to be. It's Dupree next in line. Does find Glaive still behind that E-box, but they're pushing too quickly for him to find a secondary angle. Good dink up from Zipix, and that might buy them time, because Kerrigan, he's going for the flank. There's an AK down. He's smart not to go for it immediately because he picks up a second kill. Snappy finds one in return, but he's isolated. Can he find it? Down to the one-on-one, and Kerrigan's timing is everything.
Here come the bodies as well. Guardian just put one down. Can he find a second? You better believe he can. Not another. Surely! Guardian, stop it! Guardian shuts down 4, and the dream is real as he melts all 5.
Welcome back to the ESL CSGO Pro League, where we just witnessed FaZe and Envy take a map off each other, and now we move on to LDLC versus HellRaisers. My name's Dan Gaskin. I'm joined by Jackie Peters. It was a good game, and now we move on to another good game, and LDLC versus HellRaisers. Neither of them have played so far in Season 5 of Pro League, and so let's talk a little bit about these teams. Let's focus on LDLC first. What can you tell me about these players?
So obviously LDLC, you know, there was a lot of revisions that went through that lineup for quite some time. It sort of was the harbouring home. It was the organisation that gave birth to a lot of players like Devil that went on to join Envious for a brief period of time and stuff like that. And one of the players that, you know, has stuck with them for so long is Twanu. He's this fantastic AWPer that is, you know, very explosive. He's one of my players that in this team I'd say is the one to watch. He can bring a lot to the table, has a lot of experience in there as well. But you've got a lot of stuff going on here. You also have Big Kev himself, Kevin Existence Drulance. Now, he's one of my favourite in-game leaders, someone that I've always had you know, a lot of thoughts on. Was one of my favourite players back in Counter-Strike Source as well. You know, I've got a big space in my heart for that guy.
You confused me because I call my dad Big Kev. So I thought you were just talking about my dad.
Yeah, he's in the server.
Is my dad actually playing as well?
Yeah,
great
so
stuff. Glad he's got involved in my hobby. And LDLC, well, they secured this spot in Pro League by beating Penta. They were promoted from the Premier Division, and I mean, is this a team that it has a potential of reaching finals? Do you think?
I don't know if they're going to reach finals. I'd say that's probably a bit of a long shot, but I definitely feel like they might have some cool results this season. I feel like they can bring a lot to the table. I don't think they're there just yet, though.
What would you describe as a cool result?
Definitely some upsets. I think they can, you know, actually come in pro some upsets. A lot of sort of the stuff that we saw coming out with Heroic, I feel like there is a few teams they can definitely beat, and I feel like they can prove that, yeah, we have got a lot we can bring to the table here. I think it's just they're not quite ready yet, just in terms of they still need to get a few things down. You still see mistakes coming out from a few sort of the players. It seems like structure is still an issue in terms of communication between them all, but it's definitely getting better. They're improving quite steadily. And
they've got my dad as well, so
yeah,
they should be fine. Okay, then moving across to HellRaisers, then I believe they're actually without Angel today, but talk me through their squad as well.
Yeah, it's the same sort of idea over on HellRaisers. The thing is for me with HellRaisers is they're one of these teams that I've always had an issue with, purely just because it seems like they play a very slow style of CS. They're sort of like Na'Vi. They have a lot of similarities in terms of their play style because they try and take it slow. Basically, the idea is with that though, you want to draw out utility, force your opposition to get into a scenario where they don't have enough smokes to zone you out, or you know, or actually block out any lines of sight, or allow their retakes to be easier for them. You make their life so much harder because of it. But with HellRaisers, it always seems like, you know, they do it for the sake of it, but can never really force out enough utility. It's always kind of sloppy. I feel like there's always been an issue of things actually fitting together correctly. They're always so close, but something will clink and change. You know, they do have some interesting stuff on the lineup. There's been some cool stuff that's coming out. Obviously, names like Bondic that show up time in, time out. You've got Zero and Styko as well, which for me were my two favourite players in the team. Unfortunately, as you said, Angel wasn't going to be playing with them today, so Janita will be involved in getting on there.
Speaking of...
Yeah.
He has tweeted in, so I'm about to start my first official in CSGO for HRC CSGO on ESL Pro League, and then he's going to be facing up against LDLC. Wish him luck. We've already seen one coach perform well in Pro League, so perhaps he's going to be able to do the same here today. And HellRaisers, I mean, I want to touch on what you said. You say they play this kind of a slow, methodical play, and they like to execute late and somewhat boring, some might say. They did fail to win at the last major. They lost all 3 of their games. They faced off against North, Mouse and SK though, so not the easiest of games for them. Is it a case of they've become a little bit predictable because everyone knows that they are going to go for that slow, kind of methodical style of Counter-Strike?
No, definitely not. Because I mean, it's it's sort of a standard Counter-Strike. It's one of the ways you want to play it. You use the amount, because you do have such a long amount of time bank. You want to try and use that to your advantage. Utility is so important to have because you need to be able to zone out your opposition. You need to be able to get those important retakes off. But if you have no utility late into the round, it's so much harder because you cannot blind your opposition. You cannot complement your teammates to actually get in for those retakes. So it's a smart style of CS to play. It's just it felt like HellRaisers sort of had issues. I think the strongest HellRaisers lineup we saw was probably back towards mid 2016 with Oscar involved when they started actually performing very well. They had a good breathing ground. You saw that trio, Starco, Zero and Oscar, that performed quite well. Everything sort of bonded together for a little while there. But since that point onwards, I still feel like they have potential, but it's just never really got back to that peak.
So first map between these two guys is going to be Nuke. We spoke a little bit about LDLC and HellRaisers. How is all of that going to transfer into Nuke, do you feel? And do you think there is an advantage for either of those? I mean, obviously, if there is that kind of slow style of CS drawing out that utility for HellRaisers, perhaps that could play into their hands, or am I wrong?
Well, I mean, the last time we saw LDLC play Nuke was up against Flipside, actually, and they were able to get 10 rounds off the board. They did a fairly effective job on it. They're still working their way through. Nuke is a map that we've seen them play quite a few times as well. They definitely don't shy away from it. It's one that Existence, in terms of strategic play, used to have a lot in his playbook on as well. There was a lot of depth there. He used to try and bring a lot to the table throughout this iteration of Counter-Strike and also in Counter-Strike Source, when he used to get involved in those sort of ways. So there is a lot they can do. Obviously, 10 rounds off Flipside isn't something to stiff your nose up at. That's not too bad of a result. On the other side, with HellRaisers, last time they actually faced up against someone was against Tricked, and they went on to win that in a 16-7 fashion. Tricked, obviously, a little bit of controversy that we spoke about yesterday with the whole Jugi factor, where he was supposed to be joining Heroic, and they've been locked into that contract ordeal. So, not as good of a team as Flipside, I'd say, but definitely they're one of the better sort of lower tier Danish teams. They're still up there. So, still 16-7 scoreline for HellRaisers on that is a good result. They did look quite drilled in that matchup and definitely had a lot going for them. Communication seems to move quite well, and once again, Nuke is a map that I feel like both of these teams feel pretty comfortable on.
And with LDLC just recently getting promoted into Pro League and HellRaisers perhaps going to be struggling as well, is this a possible kind of relegation battle? Are we thinking that these two might be at the bottom end of the table come the end of Season 5?
I mean, there's a possibility. It depends how it goes. Obviously, though, there's been already some interesting stuff going on where NIP have just been underperforming vastly. They're already 4 maps down. So it just depends how the rest of the it pans out. There's a lot of games going on this season. There's a lot of really great teams that are involved with it. I mean, Season 5, as I've said so many times already, is looking to be the hardest fought for season. There's so many fantastic teams involved with it, and there's just been upsets galore across the board. Anyone can beat anyone. So, don't count anyone out.
Yeah, I think that was displayed by Kingwin performing so well yesterday as well. Okay, so you spoke about LDLC and you kind of gave me a key member of that lineup, but what about HellRaisers? Who's going to be making the difference on Nuke, do you think?
It's going to be interesting what we see on Nuke. I feel like Dead Fox has a lot he can bring to the table as well. I also just want to see what Bongdit's going to be able to do getting into this. Bongdit was someone that you always sort of kept your eye on. He did have a lot of fantastic plays at times. He's an effective rifler. You can see some of that coming into effect, and I think it is just going to be a matter of wait and see, though, for me. Is going into Nuke between this. LDLC, it's interesting as well, as obviously there's been a bit of a lineup change with Maniac now joining the squadron once again. Maniac, obviously, sort of famous for his time back in Envious for so long before he had a bit of a brief departure. Moved into a coaching role, now has been just trying to work his way back through. I believe he was playing with Rogue for a brief period of time, and now back in with LDLC with Existence, someone that he has played with in the past, and found actually a way to utilize him quite well. Maniac is one of those players, when he plays in sort of that more support kind of role, if utilized correctly, can be a good help to the team. He's not a star impact fragger, but he's someone that can definitely bring a lot just in terms of support. All
right, nitty gritty stuff again then. Give me a round score prediction that you're going for onto Nuke here.
If I'm going to go onto Nuke, I feel like, honestly, I've got to give the favour over to HellRaisers, but I feel like this is going to be a really hard fought match. I feel like this could go potentially to a 16-14 scoreline if LDLC will bring their A game and really play well. Existence has always felt at home on Nuke. It's been one of his maps that he used to perform very well on, so I'm not going to be surprised this is a 16-14. It could go either way. I just feel like HellRaisers will edge it out in the end.
I'd love to see a closely contested Nuke, because I think all the Nuke games I've seen recently have just been blown out of the water. They've been on 16-5s or 16-6s or something like that. And I want to see those closely contested games once again, as we are just about ready to jump into the first map between LDLC and HellRaisers. It is going to be Nuke, and it is going to be HellRaisers starting off on that terrorist side, the more difficult side to start off with, against LDLC on the counter-terrorists. And as we said, there is going to be no Angel on the HellRaisers lineup. They are going to have Jonta, the coach, stepping in. And whether he's going to be able to do anything sublime, like we saw Lom do yesterday when he stepped in for his team, will remain to be seen.
Yeah, it will be a matter of wait and see if he's going to be able to sprinkle any more pizzazz into the team, as we love to see, don't we, Dan?
We love to see a bit of pizzazz. Sprinkle a bit of pizzazz on Nuke, and you're always going to have a good time, as they are now going to pizzazz their way onto the A side, but Mistar is there and finds 3 headshots back-to-back. Can he find a 4th just to finish things off? No, he can't. Jonta comes in, gets one of his own, and we're back. Well, we are at a 2 versus 3 here, and we're slowly running out of pizzazz.
Wow, that was a huge opener, though. 3 fantastic shots coming out there from Mistar, and it falls onto Deadfox and Jonta now. They will be trying to complement each other as they make their approach towards that upper side. They are close by. You can see the positions here being used. Nest, as they just sit at the top. Twanu trying to edge them out, hoping he can try and find a shot when they have to go for the bomb plant. He will commit to it now. Switches back up. Unfortunately, Existence overpowered him. And Maniac from the sidelines as well can take down Deadfox.
Good solid start from LDLC. Great stuff from Mistar, as we said, with those 3 back-to-back headshots. It's a simple place to kind of be holding behind that vent, but if they're not going to check it, then he's going to be able to get away with such incredible feat as he did with the 3K, and now LDLC can buy up. HellRaisers are going to go for a counter buy of their own, see if they can shut down this relatively weak buy from LDLC, but I do say that 3 M4s is not going to be something that is easy to break through. I wonder if they're just going to try and burst onto this A site once again.
Yeah, let's see how this will go down, though, as they work their way out on towards that site. Mistar holding with that UMP rattling away. He was blind, so he wasn't able to take down Zero, and he will get punished because of this. Alex is on the scene, though. We'll relay this information that they have bursted their way down vents towards that B bomb site. Maniac will find one. Twanu tries to retaliate. Can't quite do the job. Existence will come in absolutely massively, though, with that spray down with the M4 as he just dispatches everyone in front of him. That's looking fantastic so far. And it is a 2 versus 3. Deadfox, he's in the rear with the gear, though, sneaking up behind them. If they're not aware of his position, this could be massive. You will see Existence just hiding out in Toxic. Maniac as well, I believe, just tucked in over by Dark Spot. They are just trying to hold back for the meantime. The bomb is right in their sight. Deadfox needs to achieve something, though. If he takes down Existence, he gets his teammates into a bit of a bitter situation, but it's going to be a hard-fought fight. He will drop down. Existence spots him out just as he had the drop on him, takes him out with a headshot, and it falls onto Jonta, but Alex, that is a crisp little frag from behind, will eliminate him, and LDLC get their second round.
That was a here's Johnny moment if I've ever seen one, just popping his face through, saying hello, and picking up the kill as well, as LDLC put the second on the board. The buy from HellRaisers will not pay off, and now they'll have to go back to an eco. Always tough on Nuke as well, when you are on that T side and you do lose that pistol, and you start to wonder, where are we going to be able to put these rounds on the board? This one's a bit of a throwaway, I would have thought. Interesting if they are going to decide to go outside. Always difficult with pistols going outside, but it's going to be a very aggressive approach from LDLC as Maniac's going to push him with the M4. He's not going to find anyone just yet. They've all jumped on top of Silo. That is going to be Existence coming in and Mistar as well. And the bomb does go down, so the distraction did work. Great stuff from HellRaisers, being able to just run outside and get a little bit more of a cash flow by the bomb going down. They're not going to win the round, but it is a consolation prize with the extra money from the plant.
Yeah, that's the thing. Get that extra cash in, you get that cash injection, it allows to help you in the later rounds. It's a good start. LDLC, though, looking dominant early on as they pick up those first 3 rounds. Now, here's where things get interesting. The rifle rounds come out, those AK buys. Are we going to see the AWP be donned on the side of HellRaisers? Or are they just going to stick to these rifles, potentially just try and take that aggression towards outside? Yeah, Deadfox will be picking it up. Nice to see. They don't have enough money to afford that. He needs to get that pick off, work their way through. Twanu as well, the man I was talking about in the pre-game. He is such a deadly AWPer, very explosive. You'll see him roaming around the map. He's organic, that's the thing. He can take the fight. He's a little bit more wild than the others.
Deadfox just trying to get an angle through Squeaky here. Can't see anyone just yet, though. If he could have picked up a frag early there, that would have been a perfect opportunity just to burst out onto his site, as Twanu is going to get aggressive up onto Secret, it would seem. No one there to greet him just yet, so he might be able to get a nice angle and see if he can see anyone on T-Red. Existence He's going to fall back. Taking a very interesting angle, just in case anyone is going to go up towards Heaven. He will spot them out and shut them down immediately. And perhaps that will be Bondic. Is he going to decide to go along this walkway here and push towards Heaven? And HellRaisers, as you say, they're one of these teams that do bide their time. They have plenty of options in their playbook. It's just a case of what they're actually going to go for. Stiko is going to Molotov through onto the A site, it would seem. As you see, they're just going to try and get anyone off of upper. Stiko almost sprays through the wall, almost tags some bullets, but he was just above the head there. And now they get onto this A site, and unfortunately Mistal not been able to connect with Zero as he pushes in. Bondic will get one as well. And now they've got the advantage, and it's going to have to be a retake from LDLC.
Yeah, it really is going to be a bit of an awkward scenario here. Existence will back off, seeming like he has just called his squadron to go for the save here, as it is going to be very awkward for them to attempt to slip onto the bomb site. Nicely played by HellRaisers though, and you're right, and that's what we were talking about in that pre-game. All you have to do is just play that slower style of CS, you force out utility, and you use yours to the best of your advantage. It was nicely done. They knew the positional play from LDLC, burnt them off of rafters, got them out of any of these better situations where they just couldn't move at all. So by the time when they went into the site, it was just easy pickings on people that were forced out of their normal positions into less advantageous ones. And Stiko as well, he's trying to go for this fight, aware that someone would be saving in CT if they're going to go for it, and he is going to try and hunt down Existence. Maniac even at this point, as he is holding back there, but can he find it? Seems like Maniac should get through with his life, and Twanu as well is the important one to actually save that orb.
Yeah, important that he does bring that through into the next round, and HellRaisers do get one on the board, so that is important for them. I did say I wondered where they were going to find their T rounds after that unfortunate pistol round for them, but being able to get one nice and early is always going to be a confidence builder going into Nuke. If you can string one together now as well, you're going to put yourself in a really good position for this half. As it looks like they're slowly just biding their time again and seeing if they're going to find anything here at ramp. Maniac's going to be the point of defense. Does have assistance as well. The double setup at B ramp, just in case anyone is going to fly out, but no one will. As Bondic makes a little bit of a noise. And we'll be well aware that he is up there now. Twanu with the AWP just scouting out red, but no one's pushing just yet. Patient stuff from HellRaisers. And LDLC are also remaining patient. No one getting overzealous, no one pushing out too aggressively just yet.
Where's now? Tiptoes his way up from Secret here. We'll pop his head out. Gets a bit of a tag off on towards Bondic and is able to pick him off as well. Can reposition off the back of that. Maniac will go for that flash off towards ramp, try and force any of those HellRaisers players out of position, scare them off a little bit, and make them refocus their push. 50 seconds left on the clock now. They've lost one player. They still have utility to work with. They're going to peek out. Dead Fox actually caught that angle off as well, as they now decide to go push in towards the A bomb site. They are losing men all over the place though. LDLC are playing this fantastically. They've just been taking these 1 versus 1s. HellRaisers has been in no situation to get the trades back, so it's just been easy pickings. And Dead Fox, we know he can be damaging with that AWP. Will he be caught with his pants down? Will he be able to achieve anything here? Jump straight through vents, trying to work his way down. Will eventually find it. Has to just make his push. Wants to get that bomb planted, you'd imagine. Trying to bait them in as he breaks the vent, hoping someone else would follow him down the ladder. But no one is going to be so silly just yet.
Time running out, so he is going to have to go for the plant. Drops the smoke, but he's going to be seen dropping. And like Santa Claus down your chimney. You don't want to see him, but when you do see him, you just put a bullet in him. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's the Christmas tradition, as far as I remember it at my house.
I hope no one knows Santa Claus. Don't tell him I said that. 4-1 to LDLC. And there is going to be still money to work with for HellRaisers, though. I think that's the important thing. If they were set back to pistols, then they might have been slightly frustrated here, but they need to go again. Try something a little bit different. Take a look at what went wrong, see what they can change up, where they can push a little bit differently, and how they're going to be able to break through LDLC. That was a lot better of a hold from LDLC. They certainly held their angles more efficiently. Can they do more of the same?
Let's push towards outside though. Look at how much control HellRaisers have of the map right now. Existence is in a fantastic position though. He's going to have so much information if they try and cross through and try and go for this backstab Oh yeah, like, trigger patience on display here as well. He eventually will strike. Unfortunately, Existence somehow, Jonzo, he said wish us luck, and it seems like everyone else giving him his energy as he's just ripped his way straight through him, left on just 9 HP. That is a fantastic way to open up the round. Sure, he's taken damage, but that is a critical kill. They now have a lot of map control as well. They're going to go for this boost up, which allows Bondik to get into Nest very easily, and things are looking great for HellRaisers into the round.
Shanta, take my energy. Absolutely filthy. Turn around to get that kill, and they're still trying to work out this boost. They do get there eventually. Alex does have the intel that they're up there. Whether he'll be able to actually pick up the kill is the real question. As Maniac opens up the killing for LDLC onto Stiko. They are going to flash out of heaven, but Alex is there as first point of defense. Does take him down. Zero also gets one, but Mistal now comes in, gets 2 of his own. Once again, he's doing filthy things on this A site as Bondik, the last survivor, is going to smoke off and try and survive, but Mistal comes through from Squeaky.
Look at this though, this clip of Existence here. Literally the spray control almost. Jonathan just turns on him. I
kind of feel like Existence, he wanted to leave it, but then as soon as he saw him just edging his way out of the picture, he was worried about letting him get through, and then he just panicked a little bit, and that's why his spray control wasn't particularly, well, it was rubbish, let's be honest. And 5-1 to LDLC. There's going to be an AWP here for Twanu. I'm assuming it is Twanu. You said Twanu. I'm just going with you saying Twanu.
It's from what I remember from APM was the last time I actually saw too much of him. It's been a bit of a downtime, but I feel like we spoke about it. I mean, we came to the decision that's what it was. But this how it's going to go. As I was saying as well, as you bring him up, he is that power player in LDLC. He has a lot of organic style of CS behind him and sort of his fluidity when he has that AWP in his hands. Obviously in this eco as well, though, his teammates are going to be able to clean up very easily. If you can get the kills with that SMG over on Alex, you're going to be a lot happier, as you will get a lot more cash injection off the back of it. Missed out, will spot out Bondik there as well, finish him off, and it just falls to 0. Nicely played round. Alex will get that final frag, and that's a good start, to be honest. No one going to lose any weapons there, so they can fire up on Alex into the next one and have a fairly healthy economy going. You see Maniac, 12k on the board, 8k over on Missed Out. Everything looking pretty good.
14-3. Very confident performance from him so far. HellRaisers buy up. They go again. Try something a little bit different. Are they going to go fast? Maybe a vent rush? Probably not. Always in the realms of possibility, though. No AWPs to work with for HellRaisers, so they can't do anything too crazy. You see a little bit of a jump push there. And Bondik just going to line up a couple of smokes. Second guesses himself, and I wonder whether or not HellRaisers is going to do the same as they did for that one round where they won. They line up the smokes as Stiko opens up the killing. Takes down Mistal, and Mistal's been that kind of chink in their armour. He's been very damaging to HellRaisers, and with him down now, and the advantage for them, perhaps they can go on to win this round as Twanu is going to set up shop in secret in case anyone pushes down. And Alex, of course, has been holding that A site so very well. If anyone has been pushing heaven, he's always been there, and I love this position from Maniac. He's been boosted up. Is Stiko going to recognise that this is a spot? Of course, they'll know it's there, but are they going to check it? Stiko does check it, but he can't get the kill. Maniac finds it, but Zero comes in to chime in and get one of his own. And they still hold that one-man advantage.
Yeah, they are winning in the battle of attrition right now, and it's going to get even better as well as Jonta takes down Alex. He was just waddling his way over towards vents, wanted to slip down towards that lower bomb site, and talking about it, Bondik will get that bomb planted on the scene of the crime. Twanu is there with Existence. Well, they're most likely once again going to go for the save. It's far too risky to go for this.
A lot better to save the AWP. So that Twanu was setting up shop in secret. He needs to now put those shutters down, lock it up, not sell anything today, and move across to the next round and hope that he can sell some candy. HellRaisers will get their second, really important as well. I mean, what's a good round difference to take through from Terrorist side on Nuke now, do you think, Jackie?
It's hard to say, I feel like, with the new changes to Nuke. It's definitely slightly more CT-sided still. You want to be somewhere within, like, at least the region of 8 to 9 rounds on that CT half.
Oh,
ooh.
So close! He just saw his right buttock. He didn't get there quick enough. As thankfully, Twanu is able to carry that AWP through now. HellRaisers can press on. Can start to build a little bit of confidence. Just 5 AKs once again. No AWPs for them to work with, but it didn't seem like they needed them. I wonder whether Stiko is going to be able to get that opening pick once again that really made the difference just constantly had that man advantage for HellRaisers, so they were able to push onto the site so easily. They have got lots of utility, and they are just going to bombard themselves down to Secret. Was where Twanu was earlier, but he's not going to be there now. It's going to be Maniac trying to find anything he can through smoke. Is he going to push through to Radio? He does, but Stiko does get that opening frag. He needs to back off slightly, though. He is getting a lot of pressure from this LDLC side.
Molotov will go down. Missed out. As he slides out of vent, just playing around the smoke here, wants to try and work his way back through. The bomb will get planted towards Zap. He bumps like Twanu, unfortunately, focusing towards window. Gets absolutely annihilated. Dead Fox, I said he had those rifle skills. Even when he doesn't have the AWP in his hands, he's still such a deadly man as he comes in. We'll pick off those 6 shots to shut down LDLC, and it's just missed down left. He's been zoned out for so long, he's been forced to just stay here waiting due to the utility usage coming out from HellRaisers, but he wants to try and strike, try and bring something to the table. Spots out Dead Fox, but one more tap comes out, and it will claim the head of Mistal.
So it's good work from HellRaisers. Just continuing to put it on the board, continuing to be a nuisance, a thorn in the side of LDLC. They're not being able to hold as well as they were earlier. Twanu was kind of shut out of that game, shut out of that round. Wasn't able to do much with the AWP. Dead Fox now gets an AWP of his own. And I wonder if he's going to go for any sort of aggressive push, as Maniac will continue his defense of the beast ramp, as Twanu does pick up that kill onto Dead Fox. I said he needed to do something, and Dead Fox isn't going to be able to do anything with his AWP. His AWP is short-lived in the end, as Mistar was hoping someone is going to push through the mist here at Squeaky.
Nothing really occurring right now. A bit of a lull across the battlefield after that first initial frag. Everyone just trying to force out utility from the side of LDLC. HellRaisers just hold back. They are going to switch out. Mondik goes to grab that AWP, throws it out of the map, I do believe, and will trade back to his AK just so no one else can steal it. Doesn't want to run the risk of a double AWP setup potentially being put on play by LDLC. You would commonly see that secondary AWP paced over towards ramp if they were going to be able to snatch it.
Maniac has got Molotov to work with, so he's going to stop any B-ramp push happening just yet, and HellRaisers going to have to back off. It did look like they were thinking about all barreling through, but instead they have to change their mind and just back and forth. They seem to be pushing here, there and everywhere, but not yet burst out onto a site, and Mistar's going to have a field day, but Jonta knows that there is the possibility. Unfortunately, he spots a toe before Jonta can spot anything, and now, you see, Stiko tries to get down to vents, but Mistar follows him and rattles into his head. Bondit comes down to the party, does pick up the kill, tries to get onto the site, but Maniac's going to be there. And he's going to just head back on up into a site. Join 0 here, and they may be able to get this bomb down.
The bomb will be planted just in the nick of time. It is a 2 versus 3 situation. They have the advantage in the numbers game, but they are going to be outgunned. LDLC, as they make their approach towards the bomb site. How's this one going to go? They have to wait for the smoke to dissipate. They do actually find a crack on the corner of the smoke, and they can tiptoe in. Bondek is just focusing towards ramp. We'll see them come out of it, but can't quite connect his shot. Struggling with the spray. Took down one man in Twanu, but in the rafts, this is going to be 0. Trying to rain down death from above. A flurry of bullets does rain down onto existence, but he couldn't get the kill. He was able to flick up and kill him. Maniac with a defuse as well. LDLC will get another round.
Existence coming up clutch, hitting the important shots. But we've got to talk about that man, Mistar, at the top there. 16 kills. He's performing well. I mean, Twanu, just the one. But I suppose when you do have the AWP and no one's really pushing you, it isn't easy to pick up those kills. He does only have 3 deaths as well, so clearly not been a part of too much action. HellRaisers have got money once again, though. Another AWP for Dead Fox. Can he do a little bit better this time? The 1 kill came from Twanu last time onto Dead Fox. Will he find it again? Yes, he does. Dead Fox tried something a little bit different, but Twanu was able to read it fantastically. And HellRaisers find themselves with just 4 members once again, and now they're in the similar situation as last round, as how the hell did they push through into LDLC's CT side?
Yeah, what are they going to do to crack the code here? What is the correct play? As they still keep it slow for the meantime. You can see the Kree coming out on Styko as well. Trying to see what he can bring to the table with that bad boy. Definitely going to pack a punch if he charges into a site, utilising that. Maniac It's had a bit of a safe journey so far over towards ramp. There really hasn't been too much contention towards it. It has been those vent drops and outside control towards Secret to gain access towards the B bomb site. Is this going to be where that changes? You can see HellRaisers starting to rev their engines, looking their way through, deciding if they want to go for that ramp push. They do chuck the Molotovs in to try and force him out of the big box position, but that just allows him to get that frag off on towards Bondic. You also see Alex actually charge in out of nowhere with the backup of Existence to get a nice little trade frag. This forces them into a 2 versus 4 now.
Really not sure that Molotov ended up where they wanted it to, but now HellRaisers with it all to do. Stiko and Jonta. Jonta does push on, but he pushes straight into the M4 of Mistal. He can't find Stiko though, who will continue to move forward onto A site. Can't find anything as Twanu picks up his 3rd kill of the game. Starting to get back into it. And this was such an important opening frag there from Twanu. Dead Fox now, twice he's bought that up, and twice he's suffered a very painful death. And just going to be the pistols for HellRaisers. Perhaps we're going to see something a little bit explosive now from them rather than going for this slow, methodical approach, Jackie.
Yeah, change the tempo here. Try and ram it instead of being turtle speed into hare speed and just sprint your way into a site. Do something. Use brute force here to try and complement yourself. As you're not going to be able to win these rounds by just playing it as a split and pick. It's going to be really hard. LDLC have shown a lot of reserve, a lot of restraint. They haven't been going for those pushes in, so there's no reason why HellRaisers will be able to catch them off guard in close range combat. Twanu just able to pick off Dead Fox there. There is one man on top of Silo waiting for the right time to peek. Will Twanu be able to find that, or can he get a couple of lucky tags off? It will be 0. It's going to be quite hard to pick him off with that PT50 from that far away.
Interestingly, HellRaisers did just kind of spread themselves across the map quite sporadically and didn't bunch up together, didn't go for any sort of burst out and just hoped that LDLC were going to make the move and just overextend with the advantage they have against the Eco, but it hasn't really worked out so far with just 3 members left now. They do start to gather, at least 2 of them have, towards B, and I wonder whether Maniac here at ramp is going to have a field day. They did try and push it last round, and I mean, I assume they attended to Molotov where he's standing right now, previously, and it just didn't quite get there, so perhaps a little bit more work needed to be done from HellRaisers to refine that Molotov throw. So that could have made a difference, to be honest. As Mistal is going to get a little bit of information here, he can hear those footsteps trickling above him. That's why he's repositioning himself, and also does spot Jonto as well, and then turns around, finds 0, finds a 3rd onto Bondic. It was easy pickings in the end, but all of that was from those audio cues for him. Great stuff, great reaction skills for him to be able to pick up 3 there.
Oh, you can see Mistal looking really talented right now. You saw the shadows of him starting to fall, had the pre-fire locked down, and just absolutely destroyed him. That was really awesome. Kind of looked like lemmings as well, as they all one by one just fell off that roof on top of him.
Great game. Other games are available. Mistal trying to continue more of the same, really. He's locked down this A site, and despite the fact that HellRaisers will be relatively happy with 3 rounds so far, if it does end up 12-3, I don't think LDLC will be particularly annoyed at that. Definitely it will be fabulous to move on 12-3 in advantage, especially going into the pistol. As is Twanu going to try and take an aggressive approach. He is, but Stiko takes him down, and when Stiko has found those opening frags, they have won the rounds, but Maniac is going to be a nuisance, the thorn in the side once again as he takes 2 down, and Johnson finds himself eating the bullets of Mistal. Can Alex finish things off here? Yes, he can. 10-3. Is that going to be a reset for economy as well for HellRaisers? Yes, it is.
So here's the thing now with HellRaisers, you know, they're in this horrible situation where they haven't ever really been able to get themselves to link up a round together. It's always been groups of 3 coming out for LDLC. Sure, they were able to get 2 rounds together at one point, but that was a one-off, and then it was instantly back with LDLC just dominating ever since, and they've had those 4 rounds on the trot. LDLC are just looking so strong right now, especially into this round. They should be able to smash it, as HellRaisers just don't have much to work with. Luckily, they are going to adapt to their playstyle a little bit, go a bit more aggressive, but Alex, he has the high ground, will just cut down anyone underneath him. Maybe one would be proud.
Don't be stupid. I have the high ground.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're on the same wavelength there. I was thinking exactly the same. But now, a final chance for HellRaisers to put a 4th on the board in this last round of the half. It has been a very confident display for LDLC, but it has been shining moments for HellRaisers. Obviously, it is very difficult on that T side to put those rounds on the board, especially when you lost the pistol as well. That's something you really have to bear in mind here for HellRaisers. Could look like a completely different storyline if they had opened things up with a pistol round. Are you thinking this is more likely to look like a 12-3 or an 11-4, Jackie?
It's going to be interesting. I feel like right now this has got to go in the favour of LDLC, as they are just destroying everyone, especially towards outside. It's only been a few rounds where we've seen Twanu have to fight them off, but this time around, finally Dead Fox actually bests him. He will overpower him with his AWP, leave them back into an equalised situation. This does still favour the T's at this point, but Matchday, he's been such a nuisance. He's single-handedly just been tearing HellRaisers apart round in, round out, working his way up secret now. If he can get this frag off on towards Dead Fox, this could just be a huge round.
Yeah, ever since that pistol round when he got that 3k, his confidence has just gone through the roof, to be honest. As Alex does pick one up onto 0, and now with Matchday taking down Dead Fox and finding Bondic as well, just leaves Stiko as the remaining terrorist. He does actually manage to find Matchday, so gives himself a chance in this round. Does have 45 seconds to work with and the bomb, so it is still possible. I just wonder where he's going to go with this. I wonder if he's sussed out where exactly these LDLC members might be remaining. He knows for sure there's surely got to be someone waiting here, and it will be Existence. And Stiko is just going to be fleed from. They don't need to push him right now. They've just got to make him drop onto a site. I say that as Alex finishes it off. 12-3, a very confident CT side for LDLC. I guess that's what we were expecting, but that is going to be half-time, so we're going to take a short break. (12-3) in the advantage for LDLC. HellRaisers, they were looking like they were doing alright. They got a few rounds on the board, but is it going to be enough is the real question. And once again, it's going to come down to that second half pistol. Can we see exactly what LDLC did from HellRaisers, though, on their CT side?
There's a possibility. I mean, the thing is, HellRaisers that time around, once again, we saw that slow play style come into effect, but they never really had the drop on them. LDLC were very confident in their own play style and how to counter that, and they just played to their strengths. They didn't really get overzealous. They were just able to lock it down round in, round out, and that's the thing. HellRaisers, with that slow style of CS, they weren't actually able to get any openers. Every time they went for the peaks, it was late into the round, and especially, the majority of the time it was just towards outside, and Twanu just slapped them down. He might have only had about 4 or 5 frags there, but it was essentially just him onto Dead Fox, stopping him. The only one time we saw them get in is when Matchday, the man of the moment, just walked up from behind and eliminated them both. And, they weren't really doing much to actually draw out utility either. And I feel like that just comes from the experience of Existence, just guys, we don't need to do anything. We can just hold our own, do this, just play to our strengths. And basically it was just, it's very simple. There wasn't much going on from the side of LDLC. It was more just HellRaisers. I didn't really have too much oomph to their play.
You heard it here first. More oomph needed from HellRaisers, and I think you touched on it nicely as well. Dead Fox versus Twanu in that AWP battle is going to be extremely important as we move into this second half. But before we can even consider about AWP battles, firstly we need to get into the pistol round. Can Dead Fox win out this battle outside here? He's going to try and tap away, and it's going to be Twanu who's going to be his attacker. Needs to be careful here. Doesn't want to give away an easy kill. Doesn't need to face too aggressively. He can just hold an angle. He is flashed off as well. As all of LDLC are pushing outside. Stiko gets the opening frag, but Alex comes in to get one of his own. Dead Fox does pick up his, and he will find a second. Does look for a third as well, leaving Twanu just on his own. We said Twanu only picked up a few kills from the last half. He now needs to go huge if HellRaisers, if LDLC, sorry, are going to be able to win this pistol round.
20. 1 versus 4 here. You can see him just trying to bide his time. We'll spot out the feet of Psycho. Tags onto him. It's 11 HP left as he just tries to cower behind T-Red, just holding back. This is going to be such an awkward round for LDLC to attempt to pick up. All the angles are covered. He's going to have to peek into a double face. We'll take down one man in Dead Fox, but Psycho can respond very quickly.
And the start the HellRaisers needed. Whether LDLC will be able to answer back is the real question. HellRaisers weren't able to do so after they lost the pistol in the first half. Let's see what LDLC are made of. There's going to be Deagles coming out from LDLC. It's not what we saw from HellRaisers. They didn't favour those Deagles. If they can just get one pick, LDLC with a Deagle, if they can walk outside, one-tap someone in the face, find a weapon, it's definitely winnable. It's going to be 3 rifles for HellRaisers, though. Missed out. Does tag down Jonta there, just at 17 HP. So a little bit of damage done. It's not fatal, but it might be enough as Twanu gets one onto Dead Fox, still winning that battle outside. Twanu still being a nuisance onto Dead Fox. Dead Fox is going to be extremely disappointed with that one.
Yeah, we'll be a little bit disappointed for him. It's a great round so far, though, coming out from LDLC. If they're able to keep this up, they've done damage. They've got the opening frag. This definitely could go very well for them. Alex as well, as he finds his way in towards Nest, transferring damage over to Psycho, will take him down. Bondic retaliates for that UMP, has to try and do something huge for this team now, as they're starting to get torn to shreds one by one. Alex as well, up on rafters, still just reigning supreme, as he takes down Jonta. Bondic going to hit the deck as well, and it falls onto 0. A 1 versus 4 situation. Alex on a measly 1 HP. You could sneeze near him, and he'll get blown out of the server, but he is going to upgrade to that M4, and 0, look at him shaking timid in his boots as he knows this is going to be such a hard fight.
Very difficult. Is he actually going to go for it? He's hoping someone is just going to push out here, but LDLC are not playing ball. They know they don't need to push. They don't want to give this one away. 0 is run out of time. Not going to be able to win this round, so he is just going to be going for the save, and that's not what HellRaisers needed. Their hope perhaps already crumbling, as LDLC responding fantastically after losing that pistol. And that's what Deagles can do. It's crazy how many rounds we've seen go that way just because of Deagles over the past few days here at Pro League, Jackie.
Yeah, it has been pretty mental. Like, just the amount of pistol plays we've seen, especially with the Deagle, utilising that Deagle in such fantastic fashion. It's really just been highlight clips coming out, so it's been awesome to see.
Your London accent scares me sometimes. Yeah, it's been pretty awesome, yeah. As now Dead Fox going to try and do what he can with the scout. He was picked off by Twanu in the previous round. Is he going to be able to better him this time? Trying to tag through the box. Not going to be so lucky. Does manage to hit a few shots and reduce the health ever so slightly of LDLC, but they're going to be edging their way around. You can see several members there outside now.
Yeah, they've got so much sustain right now as they are just getting tagged down, but they're just holding on barely. Dead Fox, he's being a nuisance, and that's all he really needs to do in this scenario. Just delay. While Psycho can then sneak up behind him and find the frag off on towards Alex. That is going to be a good way to kick off the round. Jonta, unfortunately, will take a little bit of damage as well. LDLC, they look like they're going to get forced out of position soon. It's getting a little bit awkward for them. They have got outside control, though, as they tiptoe their way up. But Existence will be the eyes in the sky, trying to support his teammates. They're aware of Jonta's position, but he's missed out. Peeks out. Unfortunately, that angle is going to be covered. Jonta can put him down.
Yeah, unfortunately missed out, not able to find anything in this round, and good response from HellRaisers now as they are just slowly winning each individual battle against LDLC here. But Maniac will pick up one for himself, looks for the second here at A-Main, but can't find it. Stico, sorry, with the UMP. He's going to pick him off, and actually he's made a big difference. Just that smoke, finding that gap in the smoke early on in the round when he came from A-Main, really set HellRaisers in good fashion for the rest of the round, and that will reset LDLC. So HellRaisers will be more than happy to let that one earlier round slip because they've responded fantastically.
Yeah, that's not going to bother them too much about that deficit. They will be able to, you know, just let it slip through for now and try and work their way back into it. LDLC have so much of a buffer to play with as well. That's the factor. Obviously, 13 rounds on the board for them. They can allow these rounds to slip away. It just plays out as like little bits of scouting rounds. They are investing quite heavily into this one though, and it seems like it will be the upper take burst. They're also going to smoke over. Existence is up top to flash through rafters to allow his teammates to get in. Great flashbang goes off. Does complement them nicely. Alex will get that first frag off on towards Bondic. Twanu will respond as well. Styko, once he's up top, raining death from above, will pick off 2 members of the team before Twanu and Mistal respond fantastically, leaving just a lone dead Fox all on his own. And the first part of his name will come true, as now he is dead.
That wasn't the best of buys for LDLC, and they were still able to overcome a, well, let's be honest, a lackluster HellRaisers there on that A site. Stiko's doing what he can at the top of the leaderboard for his team with 15 kills. But at the moment, it's not enough as LDLC find themselves 2 rounds away from taking this map and putting their first 3 points on the board in Pro League.
Yeah, which would be a huge way to start today. Existence as well. That is going to be such a grandiose opener as he just got that spam down off on towards Jonta, allowing them to slip out towards the A-bomb site. Bondic, he is watching up, but rather than playing from rafters, is just going to be on the front lines. Alex takes down Styko though after the trade. Bondic as well, caught off guard, overpowered by Maniac. It was just too hard for him to fight on that ground level. Dead Fox. That is a juicy shot though. The wall bang on towards Twanu brings it into a 2 versus 3. Mistal's had to retreat to grab the bomb, but he also gets a constellation kill as well, off on towards Zero. And now Dead Fox, the man that has been doing a fair bit of work for his team, unfortunately won't even have the opportunity to achieve much into that round as Maniac takes him down.
Scary times for HellRaisers now. Very little in terms of money to work with. Just going to buy up what they can. Dead Fox taking that scout once again. Hasn't been able to do anything with the scout so far, to be honest. Hasn't hit really much. I think he's hit a couple of belly buttons, but that's been about it. Not finding any fatal shots with it. As LDLC get a full buy, and now they can push on. And I wonder whether they're going to slow things down or whether they'll just continue to rush their way onto a site. It looks like they are going to take the outside dominance this time. There's Twanu just trying to find anyone through boxes. No one there just yet, though. As HellRaisers look lost. They're dancing around. They don't know where to hold. They don't know what to do. And they can feel this game slipping away.
Yeah, this has been played absolutely fantastically so far from LDLC. Into this round, though, Dead Fox still wielding a scout. He's been trying his luck with it round in, round out. Knows he can be efficient with scoped weapons. And plus, the extra mobility he gets from it does complement his playstyle as well. But he's just struggling to get these shots off. He's landing tags, but his teammates can't assist him to converting those into actual kills and Existence. He's just going to take the fight. You can see the confidence behind Big Kem himself as he comes in with a frag off towards Dead Fox. Zero does retaliate, though. Taps him down with that 5-7. Leaves them in a 3 versus 4 now. HellRaisers, they need to win this round to stay alive. They have to have a flawless half if they want to go on to actually get themselves into overtime, because at this point it's looking like LDLC are going to shut this down and pick up the game.
And there is an M4 on Jonta as well. I wonder whether he's going to toss that to someone who's got slightly more health. If Stiko's going to go down into vents, is he going to be spotted out? No, he manages to pick up the kill onto Mister, which is absolutely huge. And now he's got control of the bomb as well. We'll relay that to his team, and he can just dance around in vents all he likes, whilst he waits for the rest of his team to come and give him a little bit of support here.
That was played fantastic there from Zyko. As he comes back up, Bondic on lower ramp will just be firing off using his fallen brethren scout, but once again he's struggling to connect these shots. He's putting out some damage but can't quite get anything fatal. The bomb will be dropped down to Maniac and Twanu finds a frag, but he will get traded out. Styko comes in with another frag into the round and Zero will finish it. And that was a very nicely played round from HellRaisers there. It looked like it went south. They had no stake into it. They had a lack of weaponry. Their armaments weren't great, but they still did a good job.
Yeah, backs against the wall now. Cannot make any mistakes whatsoever. They will be going up against LDLC now, just on pistols. LDLC have so much freedom to try whatever the hell they want, to be honest. They can go for just a vent dive, they can go outside, they can 5-stack, push through B ramp, and just try something to try and catch HellRaisers off guard. Whether it'll work is a different story, as Jonta tries to spray you down through smoke at Squeaky. HellRaisers have to play so passive here. They can't get aggressive whatsoever. They can't try anything slightly different. They just have to stick to their guns and hope they're going to be able to hold their angles and hold this LDLC squad off. They should be able to take this round, but it's really a case of whether they can take the rounds therefore after, Jackie.
Yeah, and the rounds preceding that all the way up to getting this game into overtime. As you're saying, they have to play flawlessly. There is no room for mistakes at all. They don't have any lives left. They're 1 round away from losing this game, and this is going to be going into their bank, though. There's LDLC left in a 3 versus 5. Sure, they've slipped their way in towards that B-bomb site, but they don't have any armaments, and they are going to have to take that aggression towards ramp, which is heavily guarded right now with that 2-man stack. But Mistal, he knows the key, and it is going to be the sneaky silent assassin. Stealthy plays, he sneaks up from behind, takes down Dead Fox. Zero, though, will get one off on towards Maniac. Unfortunately, as well, Jonta from the other side of the ramp takes down Mistal, and it all falls on towards existence. 7 HP left. It will take a single bullet to blow him out the server, and Jonta wants that frag.
Does have a flashbang to work with. It's not even going to get used. It's just going to fall out of his pocket onto the floor and trickle along down the ramp. As you know, if this was the old Nuke, I would say that overtime is quite likely, very, very possible here. However, with new style Nuke, it does play slightly more into the favour of the terrorist side. Yes, okay, it's still very CT-sided, but I'm struggling to look past LDLC. I'm not sure HellRaisers have it in them to come back here. I'd love to see it, though. We have seen a couple, well, one comeback specifically yesterday from FaZe against Heroic on Overpass. Perhaps HellRaisers can do something relatively similar. And that's going to be a good way to start things off. Dead Fox getting the early pick onto existence. As Mistal tries to push in without a hope, just blindly. But Twano, thankfully, with Alex, can push onto the site, and they find a third as well. But Dead Fox is going to constantly just rattle down and find members, and it's a 2-on-2 here. Is Zero going to get caught out? Yes, he is by Twano. Is this the round?
Oi.
Yes, it is. Twano finishing off in style, getting the second up onto Heaven there. And we are going to see the first map going in favour of LDLC, putting some points on the board. And HellRaisers, unfortunately, their T side just wasn't good enough. Didn't give them a chance on their CT side, did it, Jackie?
No, so unfortunate. Weren't able to rack up enough of a buffer of rounds, because it seemed like they could have done a lot better. The CT side, you know, it had glimpses, little flashes in the pan of just fantastic moments of ingenuity, but there just wasn't enough chances as they just got shut down by the overpowering might of LDLC towards the end there that played very well. But obviously, credit has to be given to Mistal. That was just a ridiculously flamboyant performance from him. Just frag after frag, tearing down everyone. Single-handedly was the one-man army.
He did so much for his team, and unfortunately HellRaisers just didn't have a response for him. And is there anything that you can really take from that game? Is there anything you thought that HellRaisers did a little bit wrong, Jackie, or was it just a case of just sheer dominance, like you said, from Mistal, just hitting those shots?
I don't know. I mean, they were struggling, obviously, because we saw their like little change in play style towards the later rounds where they were going for a little bit more aggressive on their T side of Nuke, but it didn't really work out that well for them. They were just getting shut down because of it. I felt like they just took a confidence hit as well for a couple of rounds there, and it was just unfortunate. Maybe LDLC definitely coming in looking hot was just too much to handle. Everyone was playing fantastically, but you know, Twano did his job quite well. He had a few impact frags tied to him, wasn't getting overzealous though into that. It was a lot more restricted than what I'm used to seeing from him, but it worked out fantastically because obviously he only got the impact frags he needed. He wasn't then giving them any openings, and basically it was him and Dead Fox towards outside, and it just stopped them from getting any map control for the majority of the time. Then when they went anywhere else, Mistal, that was just roaming around the map, was just destroying them.
Yeah, and HellRaisers, the only time they did look good on their teaser is when they went for that A-site execute, when they were molotoving through the windows at the top as well, through the skylight. But it happened once, they tried it, it worked. They didn't really try and execute again. I don't know if that's because they ran out of money or whether they just didn't want to go for the same thing twice.
Yeah, they have that utility. That worked out quite nicely as well, because obviously it complements your teammates. You use that utility, then you flash over with one player from the top that allows you to get into the site when everyone's blind. But I don't know. Their playbook there obviously just ran dry. Didn't feel like it was going to be working for them. Had to switch things up as they felt like they were just getting out-aimed, and it just fell short towards the end.
Yeah, perhaps HellRaisers need to work on their playbook a little bit, as LDLC are going to take the first map. We are going to take a short break now before we return, and when we do come back, it is going to be Cash, LDLC versus HellRaisers.